Welcome to If Numbers Could Talk. This episode is entitled NBA Draft Style. I am your host, Keelan, and as always, I am here bringing you just some different information, some statistics, some numbers that we can look over and crunch, so to speak. Some numbers that will help us understand and or reference something that is going on and maybe a sport or something else that we're interested in. Today, it is definitely a sport. Today, we're talking about the All-Star Draft era. Today's episode is entitled All-Star Draft Era. I apologize for me having too many names on my note sheet, but definitely today's episode, All-Star Draft Era, is going to be about the new draft style All-Star game and how the donations and the money moves from that. We don't usually know. I don't think a lot of people may not even know that the All-Star game isn't just about getting the MVP. It's not just about, oh, well, my favorite player made the All-Star. Like, they play for a certain amount of money. They get that money. They send that money to charities of their choice. And I don't know. Enjoyed actually finding out how. It's weird to say that way, but I enjoyed finding out how the money is moved. I thought it was interesting to find out that every year, or at least in this current draft style era, every year we don't have the exact same, or so far, there hasn't always been the exact same types of charities and the exact same ways the money is distributed. With all of that being said, let us begin. So, oh, looks like I'm having some more difficulties over here. There we go. Man, guys, you'd be surprised when you just don't know when things are gonna not work in that moment. So, from 2018 until now, we have been in the NBA draft style era. Or at least that's what I'm calling it, the draft era. The very first NBA All-Star draft was 2018. Some people will remember that All-Star game as the infamous Fergie All-Star game. That was the first draft. That draft was Team LeBron versus Team Steph. It was a regular 4-quarter game. The way that game worked was the winning team, there was $100,000 for each member of the winning team that went out to the charity, and there was $25,000 for each member of the losing team that went out to their charity. So essentially, 300,000. Um, this is where it didn't really make sense because I'm like, wait, that's more. And I'm thinking what they were trying to say is, uh, there were individual donations by players that made the All-Star game, and there were donations as a full team, as a unit, based on the wins versus loss. So, two ways it was broken down from the research I did. And again, it didn't really make sense to me, but that's how I was able to make sense of it, was player donations and team donations. So players 100,000 per player, and team 300,000 for the winning team. Excuse me, 100,000 for winning team, 300,000 for that team, 25,000 for the losing team players, and 150,000 for that team's charity. And the MVP for the 2018 All-Star game was Kevin Durant. And that was the first draft style All-Star game for the NBA. Other leagues have done this, the MLB, the NHL. And I'm thinking it was more difficult to get that information to know exactly how they utilize money or what the numbers were, simply because it was the first time, and maybe they may have overdone it a little bit, or maybe they didn't have all the information cut just evenly. So that's what we came to for 2018. And for 2019, they just kept the exact same 4-game schedule, or excuse me, 4-quarter schedule. And at the end of the game, money is distributed based upon the winners, the losers, and so forth and so on. I'm sorry, in 2018, the MVP of the All-Star game was LeBron James. In 2019, the MVP of the All-Star game was Kevin Durant. Both of those years was Team LeBron versus Team Steph. For the 2020 All-Star game, that game was pretty much a dedication to Kobe Bryant and Gianna and all of the lives that were lost in that helicopter crash that in the year of 2020 in January. When this game came on, it was Team Giannis versus Team LeBron. And Team Giannis wore the number 24, Team LeBron wore the number 2. I actually did not say that the All-Star game before in 2018 took place in Los Angeles. I did not note where the 2019 All-Star game took place. However, the 2020 All-Star game took place in Chicago. And this game was set up a little bit differently. So this game was broken down $100,000 per quarter to the winning team, $200,000 to the team that won the fourth quarter, or essentially won the game. So it did change a little. So if one team were to win quarters 1 through 3, there was $500,000 added to the winning team and $100,000 added to the losing team's total for their charities. The way that kind of translates to me, it's just interesting. You have all of the money that they're already going to make. So each team can make about, let's say if they break even, can you break even? No, you can't break even. But so you say 300,000 versus 200,000 would be the closest to breaking even. But if one team were to win 300,000, I mean, excuse me, yeah, if one team were to win 300,000, then they get an extra 500,000. That's $800,000. And then the losing team would still have that 100,000 that they were already going to get. And if they say just so happen to win the fourth quarter, they'll get 200,000 from that as well. So that's 300, which is what the winning team had already won in the first 3 quarters. So that's what made it interesting was a team could end the game, the losing team could end the game only winning as much as the winning team won in the first 3 quarters if the one team won all 3 quarters. And the only way that the losing team even catches up to that amount is by if they won the fourth quarter, if they were to win the final quarter, um, would be by that donation that comes up. I had to think about it. Sorry, guys. But that's the only way. That extra donation that comes up because of the winning team winning 3 quarters in a row is the only way they would get that money. That, again, is an interesting clause, so to speak, like an interesting factor to just get more money out to charities. These guys are out here having fun. We're being entertained as fans, and they're doing for charities, giving money to people who are trying to help others. In 2021, the NBA All-Star game was Team Durant versus Team LeBron. Giannis was the MVP for 2021. I did not say Kawhi was the MVP for 2020. Now, this game was also set up a little differently. Now, it's totaled that $1.75 million were given away just from the All-Star game alone. About $3 million in total for the All-Star weekend. So Team Durant, oh, yes, Team Durant versus Team LeBron. Quarters 1 through 3 will each start. They each started quarters 1, 2, and 3. Each started 0-0. So you had a new total at the end of each quarter, and then they were added together. Each quarter would be 12 minutes. The fourth quarter would have no clock, but it would have a target score. To get that target score, they just add 24 to whatever the standing scores are leading going into the fourth. And the first team to score 24 points. And that's how you win the fourth quarter. You scored the 24 points first. So if you say if the team is down by 6 and you go into the game they scored their 24 before the other team, they're inevitably going to go up. I don't unless you're down 24 and then you're going to end with a tie game, and that'll be a very interesting thing if that were to happen. But that has yet to happen, and that is how it is currently set up. Is the last quarter does not have a time. They just have a target set score to hit. Now, both sides at the beginning of the game for 2021 donated half a million, $500,000. The end of each quarter, 1 through 3, the winner of those quarters got $150,000 to their charity. For those, the winner of the team, excuse me, the team that won got $150,000 to their charity. And the team to win the untimed fourth quarter wins $300,000. The 2021 All-Star Game took place in Charlotte. The charities were TMCF and UNCF. That is the Thurgood Marshall College Fund and the United Negro College Fund. 2022, the All-Star Game that just most recently passed us was Team Durant versus Team LeBron once again. This stood as LeBron's fifth win as the All-Star team captain, fifth in a row, in fact. Steph Curry was the All-Star MVP. He had a record 16 3-pointers and 50 points, only 2 points shy of Anthony Davis's. I want to say that is the All-Star high 52, which was set by Anthony Davis in 2017. So the way the money is going to or worked this year, first keep in mind the MVP and the team captain for the LeBron team are both from Ohio. They're both apparently born in Akron. I didn't know Steph was born in Akron, but I did know he was born in Ohio. So both of them did their own parts with donating to charities. I know Steph, I want to say they said he donated $108,000 as the MVP to public schools. So we'll start with that, right? The MVP, $108,000 to Cleveland Public Schools. And of course, this game was held in Cleveland. State Farm donated $1,900 per assist. That totaled nearly $1 million in assists for the night. And there were about 7 or 8 other charitable acts that were included in the game and through the All-Star weekend. Again, totaling for this year, they haven't really come to a final, I don't believe. The money's still going out, I guess. I'm not really sure. But I saw in my research that they are estimated to come up to about $3 million donated once again this year through the NBA All-Star Game and the charity benefits that they promote, the charities that they are allowed or able to support through the All-Star Game. And the players are very aware of what it is they want to contribute to. The NBA is very aware of who they have relationships with and the places that they know they can send this money and it will be used in a way that is beneficial. With that being said, all of these draft style donations are great. I'm not really sure again why we don't talk about what happens with the donation monies for the NBA All-Star games, but I think it could be something that people will really want to know about. Something that I noticed going on in today's world is people are very, very, very interested in I don't want to use the word activism in this light, but involvement. People are very interested in how involved you are in the community in which you receive your fortune, no matter how large your fortune is, large or small. So, with that being the case, here we are. We just went over 2018 all the way to 2022, the NBA draft style All-Star game charity donations. I did not give all of the different places they go to. Some places were not named, but just know that usually the charities are going to be something revolving in the city in which the All-Star game is held. With that being the case, I appreciate you guys. Please tune in next Tuesday to If Numbers Could Talk, and every Tuesday following, we will have new content, new information for you. We'll always be bringing something different to you. I appreciate you guys. Have a great one, and be here for you again.